when Jesus sat with his disciples during the Passover. Where did the Passover come from? It starts all the way back to Moses, um, before he made the law, like doing the law. They kept the Passover from that time up until Jesus' time, and they broke bread. The time when Jesus went to Jerusalem with his family and parents, his kinfolks, they went. They were keeping the feast that goes back, and so nothing never changes. He kept they kept the laws, um, but then when they were going back home and they realized that Jesus wasn't there, they returned to Jerusalem, and they were looking for him for 3 days, and they found him in the synagogue, asking questions and speaking, and they were like, back in those days, you have to be taught by the rabbis, the uh, the the masters over you. They taught you how to speak, how to write, and they were like, he hasn't even went to school in so many words. He haven't even been taught where he learned these things, and they marveled and they were astonished by the things that he said. And then he picked up a Bible. Well, we just say a Bible or the scroll, and read where you know he read about himself about anointing. So Jesus kept the law. He kept all the commandments. And how are people going to say, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and then they leave about the Sabbath out? The Sabbath is part of the Ten Commandments, and you think that you don't supposed to do it, and Jesus kept it, and then they did a lot of things on the Sabbath. All he was just saying is good to do good on the Sabbath. If you're, I think you said, if the and somebody or animal, I don't want to say sheep, but whatever it was, animal falls into the or ox falls into the ditch, and you pull him up to save his life. um, it's good to do good on the Sabbath. We don't supposed to work. There was a lot of people who do work on Saturdays, and I had to work on Saturday. But then I said, God, I really want to honor you. I want to keep the commandments. I don't want to be left out. Um, he did not exclude us from not keeping the Sabbath. You supposed to keep the Sabbath. God lives forever. His word is forever. And so when I began to pray, God opened doors, and now I don't have to work on Saturdays. So sometimes we get forced, but that's not the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, we all supposed to keep the Sabbath, and I do honor that. And the Sabbath is not a Sunday. A Sabbath is a Saturday, and to keep it holy. A lot of people say, "Oh, this person did this on the Sabbath day or on the holy day. Oh, this person did this on the holy day." That's not the holy day. The holy day is Saturday, but you can worship God every day of the week, 7 days a week. Every day should be holy to God. But the Sabbath, Jesus said the Sabbath was for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Sabbath for us is to relax. I use that day to worship God. We don't worship Him enough. We only, when we go to church, we do 15 minutes or we do half, and that's not enough. I want, that's all you can give Him, and you set God on a program. You're supposed to be able to worship Him, and so I'm gonna have days where we go and we have service, whatever, and we're gonna learn different things, like even with video clips and things like that, little short, to open us about the spiritual world, whatever. But Saturdays we're gonna say a little bit. That's God's day, and for our rest day, that's what we're gonna do. Honor God. We're gonna worship God. That's what I wanted to do.